Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode we had the draft and the re-sign stage, and now we're up here in free agency. We are probably going to be making a couple trades in this episode and kind of reworking our team a bit, trying to do a little bit of a retool. I did keep most of our team together, even Calvin Shelley on our roster. The question is he still going to be with us at the end of this episode? I think he might be because of the moves we're going to be making, and I think it should help out our team a bit. Now, is it going to be the best team in the world? Hopefully. Is it going to be better than last year? I don't really know, because it really depends on how these guys fit into our roster that we're going to be trading for, and hopefully we don't go through any locker room issues because of the trades and all that type of thing. So anyways, let's get into free agency and making those trades, because these trades that we're going to be making are pretty big in a sense. We aren't going to be trading away Calvin Shelley, because Shelley, I think, will stay with this roster probably till the end of his career, just because he is probably on the drop-off, because he is listed right now as a third-line scoring forward, and I feel like he could be one of these guys that retire at 35, 36, so he is very close to retirement, I'd say. Same with guys like Michkov and whatnot, so might as well try and keep this team as competitive as possible. So we are going to be making some pretty big trades this offseason. So the first one we're going to be making is to basically upgrade our defensive core, because as you guys can see, our defensive core at the moment is very defensively minded. In the last 2 seasons, it hasn't been really getting any offense from the back end, because Fairchild, Bilesma, Sasaki, Burkov, Festerling, for example, and McGrath are all more defensively minded than offensive, so we definitely need that offensive defenseman to bring this team in some goal scoring ability. So we are going to be probably making a trade to give us that offensive defenseman that helps drive the offense from the back end on like the power play and all that type of thing. So the first trade we're going to be making is with the St. Louis Blues. Now this player I didn't really want to trade away, but we are going to be upgrading him with a separate trade, so that's why it makes sense. So the player we are going to be trying to get rid of here is Gage Penner. The reason being is just because of his cap hit, mostly because he's making $6 million, and he was kind of off to a sluggish start last season. He's been putting up still around 50 points a season, almost 60 points a season, which is pretty good. But I do think I want to upgrade him into a different player that is a little bit better overall-wise and just came off a really good season. So that's the main reason why. But yeah, Penner's been a really good player, I'd say. It's just more about getting a cheaper player that's a little bit better overall-wise, and that could fit the system maybe a little bit better. So we are going to be trading away Gage Penner to the St. Louis Blues if we could get this deal to go through. And the player we're going to be bringing in from St. Louis, that offensive defenseman I mentioned, is going to be none other than Cameron Collins, who is an 85 top 4 defenseman. You can see that he's not the hugely, like, the most offensive player. Like, he's putting up like 35 to 40 points almost a season, which is pretty good. That's a lot better than most of the defenders on our team. So yeah, we're going to bring him in. He's got some X factors that also help out offensively. He's probably going to be our best offensive defenseman, or best defenseman in terms of points at the end of the season. And he also does fit our first pairing, so that is also nice. He is signed for 1 year at 9.175, so it is a bit of an expensive contract, but by trading away at least turning basically Penner into Collins, we're only be paying an extra $3 million, which should still give us like around $5 million in cap space to make our other trade, which will get us a second line center basically to replace Penner with. So yeah, so Penner, and we have to probably add something to this deal to get it to go through. I just don't know what. So let's look at some skaters that match their block. We're not going to be trading Lambert to them in this trade. We're going to be trading Lambert probably in the trade for the center. So basically it's a center for a defenseman and a defenseman for a center is my plans this offseason. So who could I throw into this deal to make it reasonable? I could probably throw Appleby into this trade, because Appleby's not really going to pan out. He does have still a little bit of value. So I could do Appleby, or I could try it. Or I could throw the rights to Galiev, but I don't think that's reasonable. Actually, I could just trade Galiev in this trade. 2 years at 875. We were using him as a third string goalie, though. We'll see what happens. We'll do Appleby first. If not, maybe we could rework something a little bit, or throw in a pick instead. So Penner and Appleby for Collins. Will this go through? That is rejected. Okay. So we might throw in a draft pick into this trade, but I think getting rid of Eddie Appleby makes sense, because he's not really fitting into the roster, unfortunately. So we will throw in a future 4th round pick, and that should get the deal done, I'd say. If need be, we could go up to a 3rd round pick because we know we're going to be a competitive team regardless. So Penner, Appleby, and a 4th round pick for Cons. That's rejected. Let's try the 3rd rounder. We just know that we need that offensive defenseman because that's something we've lacked since we had like Rasmus Dahlin, I think. So let's try a 3rd rounder. So Penner, Appleby in the 3rd. Will this one work? Still rejected. Okay. It's gonna be a little bit tough, isn't it? I could give up a 2nd rounder. That might get it to go through. I might not even need to actually add Eddie Appleby. If I add Appleby, though, I'll try that as well after this if this doesn't work. So, Penner in a 2nd round pick for Cons. Will this work? That will be rejected as well. I could give up multiple picks. I don't mind because I know that for sure we're going to be a playoff team the next season, I'm pretty sure. So, we'll do a 2nd and a 3rd. So, this might be a lot to give up, but I think it's worth it for a 1-year deal of Cons. Who knows if he comes back the next season afterwards, but let's try this. Penner a 2nd and a 3rd. That's still rejected. But if we retain some salary a little bit on Penner, we don't want to retain too much. Like, I don't like retaining salary, but if I have to retain like $500,000, let's try that. So then they're getting him for 5.5, which is a little bit more reasonable. Let's try that. That is rejected. They just maybe don't like Penner as a player, which is kind of annoying. But we do need to figure out how to get this to go through. Maybe I'll have to trade Penner as part of the Washington deal I was going to make instead. I don't want to really retain $1 million, but I might have to here. Let's try that. Penner retained at $1 million, so he's basically only making $5 million with them for the next few seasons. Let's try this. Probably, yeah. Let's try this. That's rejected. Okay, so let's get rid of the retain. Let's try and change that 2nd and a 3rd to a future 1st round pick. I know that might be a little bit risky, but this team is going to be competitive regardless. We never usually trade away our 1st round pick, but I think it's worth it in a sense for this. So Penner in a 1st, basically just because they're going to be taking on the salary for the next few years with Penner. So we need to give up, I guess, an asset in order to get rid of his contract. So Penner in a 1st for Cons. Rejected as well. Okay, they are definitely being a little bit picky here, huh? I'll do also a 2nd for next year, so this is a decent amount to give up. I wouldn't say it's overpayment, but we need to find a way to get this team together and stuff. So Penner a 1st, a 2nd for Cons. Will this go through? That is accepted, so that's a good deal, I'd say. We get rid of a 1st round pick for the first time in a really long time, I'd say. We also get rid of a 2nd round pick, and we managed to get rid of Penner's bad contract we gave him. But we do manage to bring in an offensive defenseman to help us out. And now we also do have some cap space to make a deal for a 2nd line center, which I think has a really good contract. I showed you guys him at the end of last episode on the trading block. And that was Mr. Armsden, who is an 85. He just came off a 60-point season, I think it was. Yeah, he came off 60 points. So putting him next to somebody like Hagerodov on that 2nd line, that should help out tremendously with the offense. Now, the only thing is he is signed for a bit of term, but at least his contract isn't outrageously overpriced. So we'll do Armsden, and they do want Lambert, so we are going to throw Lambert as this part of the deal. And I don't know what else we could throw in. I don't think this will go through right away, but we could try it. So Lambert for Armsden, will that work? That's accepted right away. Wow. Okay. Guess I didn't know if I didn't expect that to go through right away, to be honest. But we do now bring in Armsden to replace Penner. We do stop like just under $2 million in cap space, so we are right up against the cap right now after those moves. But I do think it makes us a better team right now, which is good. The only thing is we do have still one player that's an RFA holdout, I believe, and that's McGrath. So we might have to make a little bit more movement in order to free up cap space for him. Let's take a look at let's take a look at her contract situation quickly, because I know McGrath is trying to get like $5 million, but she's not going to get paid that much, I don't think. Yeah, he wants 5.45, which he's not going to get. So there is a chance we could trade away his rights, because now our defensive core looks a lot better with Cons. We could always trade away his rights. Because I'm okay with playing Festerling as a defenseman on the top 6 pairing. Yeah, maybe we trade away McGrath's rights at the start of the season if we absolutely need to, unless he accepts a cheaper contract. But yeah, let's continue to simulate, I guess. I don't think we'll sign ourselves a fourth liner, which means I'll probably use Filppula as a fourth liner, which means guys like Appleby and McElhaney might be depth for us this season. But yeah, we're right up against the cap, but I think it makes our team a better team by bringing in Collins at least for the one season. And then Armsden might be one of these guys that get traded eventually, but I want to see how he is with that type of cap hit on our second line. So we aren't going to make any free agent signings. We're just going to keep the team the rest of the way as the same as is. So basically, Penner got turned into Armsden, and basically Lambert, one of our prospects, our top prospects, got turned into Collins, which I think makes us a better team right now. Does it hurt our future? Potentially, but I want to try and get this team to win a Stanley Cup at least before guys like Kelvin Shelley retire again or end up getting let go of to free agency, because this might be Shelley's last run with this team. I didn't want to trade him away. I don't want to really let him go either, but I want him to try and retire with this club if possible. So let's see, is McGrath's asking price going down at all? Because I feel like he might still want like $3 million by the start of the season, which we can't really give him $3 million. He wants 3.1 right now. We're almost in September, so let's continue to simulate and see if he drops that any more. So, because if need be, we might have to trade away somebody like Ustorf on the fourth line. I don't know. But we need to find a way to free up some cap space if we want to re-sign him potentially. Which means, I don't know. I don't want to get rid of Shelley still, though. Did I overpay on him? Maybe. But I think he's worth it for at least one season at like $5 million. Also, I more than likely, or maybe there's a chance I might pre-record next episode. Who knows? Just because I do have a job interview the day after you guys are seeing this, I think. So there is a chance I might have to pre-record it. We'll see. So Appleby is up to a 79, which I don't think he actually is. But if he is, that's actually kind of crazy. So we're still waiting on McGrath to start the season. Let me take a look at this quickly. Let's see, what is McGrath wanting now? Is he still expensive? He wants 2.7. Okay, so we gotta definitely find a way to free up a little bit of cap space here. So if we go to our main roster, who's making like $1 million that could get dealt? Festerling. Yeah, Festerling. Yeah, if we offload Festerling, we'll have enough to bring him in, and then we'll just need a depth defenseman. Yeah, we have to try and trade away Festerling. He was going to be our depth defenseman this year, but he's going to be complaining about ice time regardless. So, yeah, let's just get rid of Festerling for like a 7th round pick. I don't really care what it is. We just need to get rid of him. So, where are you, Festerling? Oh, yeah, he dropped off because of morale. Let's just trade him away to the Bruins since they actually want him. It sucks to trade away him, but we have to do this just to get that extra little bit of cap space. So Festerling for, looks like we can maybe get higher than the 7th rounder. Can we get a 4th rounder for him out of curiosity? I don't think so, actually. Let's do a 5th rounder. That should be okay enough, I'd say. Festerling for a 5th. And that's accepted. Perfect. So that should give us, hypothetically, we'll just call up a random AHL for the time being. Let's just call it McElhaney. I don't really care who goes into the lineup. Let's go best lines. Now we should hypothetically have enough money to resign McGrath to that 1-year deal at 2 point whatever he wants. Actually, now we're up to 1850, so we might not have enough still. Oh man, we need to free up more money. This is not good. I might have put ourselves in a bad position now doing that trade. Well, this is going to be something we have to rework. I might have to trade away Ustorf, to be honest. Because, wait, what do we got? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roster players. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we could trade away Ustorf. Yeah, we're going to trade away Ustorf here. I don't like trading away Ustorf. Actually, we should trade away Shelley technically out of the mix of that. Shouldn't we? Oh, no. Yeah, I got to trade away Ustorf here. Shelley's dropped down to top 9 potential, so this could be his last season anyways. But, yeah, let's trade away Ustorf to free up a little bit more cap space. So, yeah, this team's going through some drastic changes. And, yeah, we'll try and find ourselves a very cheap 4th liner, I guess, in exchange. Because we definitely need... actually, maybe we won't even trade for a 4th liner. Let's just What could we get for him? A 4th and a 6th from some of these teams? Not really a whole lot. Let's just trade him to a Eastern Conference team. Let's give him to the Florida Panthers. So that way we have the money. Once again, we're going to have to call up somebody from the AHL, but Voloshenko is close to being NHL already, seen with Lynch, so at least we have guys that are climbing up really quickly. So let's call up Voloshenko for the time being. Once again, go best lines. This episode might be a little bit long just because of all these movements that we're doing. I didn't expect to do this much, to be honest. Because I thought we would have had enough cap space to re-sign McGrath, but I guess not. So we'll do 1 year. Yeah, it's going to eat up the rest of our cap space pretty much, which is unfortunate. So he'll accept that probably at the start of the preseason almost. He should accept any minute. There you go. And now we could actually get our roster set up for the start of the season. And we will probably integrate some of the younger guys like Voloshenko if we want to. I think Lynch could take a year in the minors first, just to be safe. Let's go head coach preferred lines. Voloshenko, I would like to play him, but I don't know about having a sniper on the 4th line. Armsden should be there. Agostino needs to be up there. Maybe we do something like that. Maybe, yeah, Shishkinov could play with Shelley, maybe. But he is making a lot of money, isn't he? 7 million. That's a lot of money to put onto that role. Yeah, I need to put him here. So, okay, what else we got here? I'd like to play Voloshenko, but I think he might need another year in the minors. Or that actually might be okay as depth, and then we could send Bykov down and call up somebody for a depth defenseman role. If we even have a depth defender in the minors, which the closest we have is Osgood, so we're gonna have to call up Osgood, or we could call up Ariel Ortmeyer, so one of the AHL legends kind of guys. And you know what, let's use Osgood maybe. Yeah, Osgood's younger, so we'll use Osgood as our depth defenseman this year, which is not really the best depth defenseman to have, but we definitely need to have one at least for now, until I maybe sign another one. So we'll check free agency and see if there's a better option out there. Let's go best lines down there quickly. Devereaux with Lynch would be better, and then we'll put Mestre up there maybe. Or does Lorentz work better? No. At least we have a lot of good prospects in the minors still. Galiev will be down there, that's okay. Not the best chemistry in the AHL, but it is what it is. And then defensively, even though there's a minus, we're going to have to leave it like that. So we'll flip that around maybe a bit, and that should be good. Yeah, our team looks really good, though, to be honest. I think it was kind of worth it to put us up this close to the cap for now. Like, we're going to definitely lose some players next offseason, so I kind of hope Shelley retires. Do we have enough money to spend on a depth defenseman? Probably not, right? Yeah, we have no money whatsoever. We cannot even sign ourselves a depth defenseman, so Osgood's going to be a depth defenseman for us this season. Because I don't think there's any way I could sign a depth defenseman even on a two-way deal, right? Like if we sort this by overall wise, there's another Armsden that wants 875. Can I get this guy even? I don't know. Let's just see if I could afford this guy even if he wants a two-way contract. Because then at least it gives us a better depth defenseman than Osgood. But let's advance a few days to see if I could actually afford that guy on a two-way deal. I can. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we're right up on the cap, which is okay. But if we need to make moves, we could trade away Shelley at the deadline. But for now, I think this team is going to be probably pretty good since we're really close to the cap. Unless I not even call this guy up because of the cap hit. Probably. Watch, I'm not going to be able to call up that dude. Let's see, Armsden. Oh, never mind, I can't. Perfect. Perfect. We got ourselves our depth defenseman. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, our team is really looking pretty deep in a sense, but I'm really scared because, well, also Geeky's actually only signed for 1 year, so next offseason we're going to lose a bunch of guys probably regardless, but this might be one last hurrah for this team to try and win another Stanley Cup. You never know. But then again, the guys in the minors like Devereaux and Lynch, at least we have those guys coming up in the next few seasons. So that is our roster for the start of the season, unless I want to put Appleby in on the 4th line instead of McElhaney, which I might want to do, to be honest. because of overall purposes. Let's see, Appleby doesn't fit it better. How about Filppula? Filppula works better. Who has the better face-offs? It's going to be Filppula, so we'll go face-offs like that. There we go. That looks good. And then Voloshenko actually gets a chance to play already. Okay, perfect. We are ready to start the season simulation. It took 20 minutes to get to this point, but we are going to still try and get 41 games done in this episode, just because I want to see what this team is made of, and I want to get through these seasons obviously as fast as possible, because we are approaching NHL 23 in the next couple months, which is kind of crazy already. Okay, so preseason wise, we go 3-4, which we shouldn't be going that bad, but at least it's only the preseason. Agostino has 9 points in 7 games, which is pretty solid. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical about how this team's going to simulate. I don't know if I should put Shelly on the power play if he's not already. I need to make sure the power play lines are actually set up properly in a sense. Because if Shelly's on the power play, that would be good, because or else his goal scoring is going to go down the tubes a lot. Yeah, I'm going to put him on the point. Oh, Keg rode off on his second power play unit. I don't know if he's going to like that. He might. Let's take Burkhoff off the power play, and I'll also put Shelly up there, I guess. Yeah, that works better. I just want Shelly to get an opportunity to get like more than 500 goals, because I know if we have him just as a third liner, he's going to maybe complain about his ice time. And this is probably going to be one of his last years in his career if he's dropped down to top 9 potential already. Like, I feel like he's definitely a type of guy that's going to retire at 35, which is unfortunate. But at least he's had a long career. He's won Stanley Cups, so it's been a pretty successful one for him. Okay, let's see what we do this season. Kind of skeptical with us being up so close against the cap space, but at least we made some good moves. Maybe we'll have to make a lot more next offseason depending on retirements and all that, but let's go to January the 1st and see what this team is made of, and then we will simulate a few more games to get ourselves right to game number 42. So we'll be exactly halfway point of the year. And we're starting off with a couple losses. At least one was in the shootout, but yikes. A little bit of a weird start to the year, but oh wow, okay. I'm glad I brought in Arms in, I guess. Geeky has been injured with an MCL sprain till November the 27th, so that's a major loss right out of the gate. So hopefully whoever's the depth forward that gets put in on that top line can produce well. But that's a pretty big loss early into the year for this Arizona Coyotes team. At least we're winning games now, it looks like, even with the injuries. But it's still been a little bit of a streaky start to the year. 10-2 loss to San Jose. Don't like that. Maybe we're too offensively minded now. Oh, Appleby got a top line time. I wonder if Appleby really simulated that well up there. Was that Geeky that was back or somebody else? Nope, Geeky's not back yet, so it must have been somebody else that I saw. Maybe it was an AHLer. Oh, and there you go. Geeky's now back. I want to take a look at Appleby's stats till the end of the episode, though, because I'm kind of curious if he actually did really well on the top line, because that's the most ice time he would get probably in his entire career. Wow, yeah, our team's simulating good now. At least started off a little bit on the back and forth, but yeah, now we're starting to run away with those wins, getting a couple losses here and there, though. But yeah, this team should be pretty good offensively this year based on a couple of our wins and even our losses. There's a 3-game losing streak, which I don't really like. And 21-11-3, that's 32... Wait, yeah, 32, 35 games, so we still need to do 6 more games. Let's get those 6 games done. But yeah, right now I don't know if I'm liking how this team is simulating in this first half of the year, as Spalling has been injured with a fractured jaw. That's not great. Yeah, I don't really like how this team's been simulating in this first half of the season. It's going through a lot of changes, though, so makes sense, I guess. The chemistry isn't fully there yet. Yoshimura has been injured with an injured knee. Let's just go replace player, but that's a pretty big loss, though, as well. And we're 25-13-3 halfway through the season. Agostino's over point per game, which is great to see. 49 points in 41 games. We are the second best team in our division, only behind the St. Louis Blues, who we traded Penner to, which is kind of weird. So, interesting on that front. We did also trade our first round pick to them, so. But yeah, we look like we're in a good spot this season, at least in standings. Don't know what's going wrong for us this season so far. Maybe it's the goaltending. Let's take a look at the team stats and player stats so far for the season. So currently we are the 7th best team in the NHL, which I mean I'm okay with, I guess, because we don't want to be the best team because or else we're going to be a first round exit. Like, look at how good San Jose's been through 40 games. They're literally 29-5-6, which is an insane record. So they're more than likely going to be a first round exit if they keep up like that. New Jersey's also doing really well. But yeah, we have a pretty good record, I'd say, at this point. Goals for per game wise, we are currently the 9th best in the NHL. So not necessarily the best, but top 10, which is good. Goals against per game wise, we are not good. So we upgraded our defensive core to have an offensive defenseman, and yeah, now we're starting to struggle defensively. So I don't know if that's the goaltending fault or the defensive core or maybe just our bottom 6. We'll have to try and look and see, because maybe it was trading away Ustorf that's hurting us a little bit. Because I didn't really want to trade that guy away, but we had to. Our power play is also one of the worst in the league, so maybe we want to rework that power play a little bit. And our penalty kill is also not too good, so kind of skeptical with the start to the season for our team. Not great special teams and not great defensive play, but good offensive numbers. So let's take a look at these player stats so far. So Armsden's got 34 points in 41 games, so I think he's definitely been worth the pickup. He's on pace for 68 points, but he's a -4 so far. But yeah, I think he was a great acquisition for this team, especially if once Geeky retires, he could take over that top line spot and be a much cheaper option. But Geeky's got 26 points so far in 29 games. He has been injured a couple times though. -12, or not -12, +12, why am I saying minus? Voloshenko, 13 points in 41 games. Not too bad for the rookie. Only a -3 as well, so that fourth line's actually not doing too bad defensively. Spalling, 11 points and a -2. Philpill's got 10 points and a -7, which is a bit questionable. And then Appleby's got 3 points in 16 games and a +1, so he didn't do well at all, even though he got first line ice time when he did get put into the lineup when Geeky was injured, so that's a bit of a yikes. Agostino, 49 points in 41 games. Awesome as always. He's on pace for just under 100 points. Maybe he'll hit 100 points this year again. He's a +15 as well. Love myself some Tyler Agostino. One of the best players in my franchise modes for sure. His power play numbers are down this year, but still doing as good as he normally does and still's got that elite potential, which is good, so he's not dropped off yet. Shishkov, 34 points in 41 games. Really good. But there is a chance that we lose him this offseason because he might demand a lot of money. McIntyre's been good, 32 points +10. I will definitely take that. Michkov, 48 points in 41 games. Pretty good, on pace for 96 points this year. Still got that franchise potential, so there is a good chance that he could play till past 36 years old. Kagarow's been good, 35 points. Shelley's been good too, 26 points, I would say, for a third liner is pretty decent. He's got 17 goals on the season, so on pace for another 30-goal season. So that's decent. He's just not shooting the puck as much, it seems like, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's shooting around the same. But yeah, pretty solid from Shelley still at his age. Yoshimura's only got 24 points, so he's kind of struggling a little bit. But he has been injured recently. But he is on pace for around the same amount of points as he normally does. Defensively, Collins has been really good offensively. 31 points in 41 games, on pace for 62 points and a +17. So you can see why I brought in Collins to drive that offense from the back end. Sasaki, 10 points. Bilesma's got 9. Fairchild's got 8 and a +18. McGrath, 6 points +1. And Burkov has 4 points and a -2. So the defensive core has been pretty good. And then the goaltending has been probably our worst thing. Wow, that goaltending is absolutely tragic. Donovan's 28-2, and he's got an 887. How do you have an 887 through 31 games? And a 326. Maybe the entire league is really bad, though, for goaltending. Damn, that's tragic. And in Korea, though, literally he's only played 12 games because he's now getting used as our backup. Well, he's got an 881 and a 363. Damn, both goalies are really doing bad this year. That might be the worst goaltending I've seen so far in a franchise mode, because that's like 1980s numbers almost. Curious on who's leading in goals. Wow, Michkov's not even up there. So Michkov's goal scoring dropping off might hurt us as well. But Cons is up there in defensive points, but he's still miles behind some other guys. Goalie wise, Hornquist is the best goalie right now by a long margin, looks like. Yeah, probably the best goalie so far. Yeah, Hornquist is doing really well with a 922, but our goaltenders have an 880s. Like, oh. Yeah, I'm really concerned about our goaltending. I am concerned about the goaltending. How much year? Stefan Pettersson's only got 1 year left, but we can't afford $12 million. I was going to say bring him back, but ooh, that is not good. That is not good at all, our goaltending. Like, if we win the Stanley Cup this year, it's going to be based on luck completely. If it's going to be based on our offensive numbers, if that happens. Final few things we'll check is the trading block, because I think we might need to upgrade our goaltending situation. Like, maybe we trade a goalie to upgrade our goalie situation a bit, to find somebody that's got a better numbers. But Sommer's also bad goaltender for Anaheim is on the block. I don't know if there's really anything we could do about it. We might just have to wait and see what the team does, because maybe the team will be better in the playoffs. So that happens from time to time. Tulipov is on the block. Damn, this guy's making 10 million. Really good player there. I would have traded for this guy potentially, but don't have the cap space. I don't have the cap space for anybody really. I'd have to trade away like Shelley in order to get rid of somebody to upgrade our team a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of good players on the block. This is going to be a really weird season, I think. A lot of these goalies that are on the block right now are signed for multiple years. Couturier also not doing that good, 879 save percentage. So yeah, there's a couple goaltenders in the league that are really struggling, but Beauregard, that's our former goalie, right, at one point? Yeah, that's the goalie that was with us that was doing tragic. He's now doing actually okay with a 907. And that might be it, honestly, for goalies on the block, because I think that's the one thing we need to upgrade maybe is their goaltending. Gabriel Tkachuk. This guy's doing really good in the AHL, and he was doing good in the NHL the year before. Interesting. Don't know if he'll actually be that good, but I mean, he's an 82 that's playing in the minors right now, and he's making under $1 million. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, we could trade away one of the goalies to upgrade that, but I think we might just have to see how this team does the rest of the year and not make any trades, because maybe we'll just be a better team playoff-wise, but I'm really concerned with that goaltending. Like, the defensive core doesn't look good bad plus-minus wise, but it could be because of the offense, but the goaltending has been tragic. That has been definitely a problem for this team. I just don't know how to solve it. Like, what does this team need to do in order to be good at everything again? Oh, another goalie that's signed for 1 year left at 3.35, but he's a medium league goalie. 908 save percentage is pretty good. But, yeah, I don't know if there's anything we could really do to upgrade our goaltending because of the cap space situation. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take you to the trade deadline. We might make some trades and simulate the rest of the season. We're going to be probably a playoff team at this rate, but the question is for how long with how bad we've been playing defensively. So you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.